we're at a stage where by now we should have done our leg and we should have it cut out and we should have the sides all planed in. Next we need to do the rails, which is this piece here and this piece here. Now in order to do the rails, as you can see here, there is a housing and we're going to set this in halfway, and you'll notice how that's really tight. We want it nice and tight so that at least then it's quite stable. If we had it loose, the legs would wobble quite a lot. We want to make sure this is tight here and this is tight here. So this is about making the rails, how to make these. So as you can see, we're going to put some dowels in here and we're going to dowel this together and glue it together later. But for the moment, what we're going to work on first of all is trying to make these housings. So one there and another one here. So I don't need those legs for now. So as you can see, if I put these together like that, that's how it sits. With the leg, and your leg should sit in there nicely, nice and tight. Just like all your other joints, we want it to be nice and tight. Now the best way to do this, I've found, is this is almost like one piece of timber. So from this, we're going to make that. So what you need to do here is a number of things. First of all, we need to find the center, because I will rip this down on the rip saw. You don't have to do this. Once you've got all this cut out, give it to me. I'll put the saw blade through it and it'll cut all the way through there, and then you'll have your two pieces from your one. But for the moment, we're just going to work with the one piece. So for the moment, we're going to find the center. Now this should be 120 millimeters wide, so you need to find your center measurement and do a line right down the middle, because that's where I'm going to cut it. All the way down the middle there. Then according to our plan, right, from here to here, that was 40 millimeters there to there. So we need to measure in 40 millimeters on one end, and we're going to measure 40 millimeters on the other end. We're going to get a square, bring that across, because we want that to be nice and square and straight. Now remembering, your leg has to sit in here. So technically, not only have you got 40 millimeters, but you've probably got another 19 millimeters, which makes it 59. And this one, 40 millimeters, and that makes that one 59. So we should be about here, and we're going to cut this out. Now as you can see, with a saw, got in here with a saw and cut that out, but there's no way you're going to be able to cut this straight and true all the way through. So there is a little trick here. My little bag of goodies, 3 bits of timber. That's all you're going to need. Now these 3 bits of timber, they've just been ripped off the legs, so it's the same width as this. So all you need to do with this one is a couple of 25 millimeter nails, a little hammer, tap tap, tap tap, and then I'm going to put that right on the line there. Now before I actually nail it in, I'm going to make sure it's square, so I'm going to make sure this is square too. So this will represent the leg, and then all you need to do is put another piece hard up against there and a couple of nails. This can come out, because this will represent your leg, and it fits in there nice and tight. Now this is now your fence, and just getting your saw. All you need to do, start on the angle, put it hard up against your fence, and the same on the other side. Put it hard up against your fence, and as you can see, we've got some nice straight cuts there. Now that I've got my groove, I can pull these out. Now what I'm going to do is use my marking gauge. Now you've done this before. We just want to set halfway. Oops. We just want to set halfway with a pencil, because we're going to cut down to that line. And then it's just a matter of finishing that off down to the line. So next part is to chisel this out. Best thing to do is put it in the vise, open it up nice and wide. Now we have two size chisels that you can use. You've got 12 millimeters and there is a 6 millimeter chisel. You'll probably find with the 12 millimeter is the best because it's a little bit shorter and it's just a matter of knocking all that out. Just a little bit at a time. Bevel side down. And if you need to go bevel side up. Now if it's not coming away cleanly, that means you need to still do a little bit more sawing. Okay, if it's not coming away cleanly, you're probably cutting too much this way and too much this way, not much in the middle. Try and keep it straight. Then, see if we can just knock that out a bit. So we're getting down to a level where we want to make it nice and clean, the bottom. And this is where we use a granny tooth. It's two different ones. And we're going to set this at a depth, down to the depth we want. So maybe even a little bit higher than what we want it to be. We turn this up, this makes this nice and tight. And then it's just a matter of routing that out. Now if you need to, come back the other way. Now don't try to take too much off at a time. Just a little bit at a time. I might just go down a little bit more. One more like that. That gives you me a nice clean. What am I doing there? That's not coming out there for some reason. That's better that way. So that's a nice clean housing or a nice clean rebate. And my leg should be able to fit in there nice and tight. That's how we do that.